All right, welcome to the Explainer. We're going to jump right in today with a massive question. If you had to pick the single most important place in all of human history, what would it be? I mean, when you think about it, your mind probably jumps to these incredible monuments, right? Places of real power and grandeur. You've got the Great Pyramids, these colossal structures built by pharaohs to basically last forever. Or, hey, maybe you think of something like the Great Wall of China. I mean, what an incredible feat of human ambition, just stretching across a whole continent, an undeniable symbol of an empire's strength. Yeah, places like these have literally shaped empires. They've inspired art, they've defined what we even think of as civilization. But what if greatness isn't really about beauty, or size, or how much rock you can pile up? It really makes you wonder, what actually makes a place great? Is it about how big it is, how beautiful, or is it something else entirely? Because what if the place that had the single biggest impact on all of us was, well, kind of grim, maybe even desolate, and a place most people would rather forget? So the source material we're digging into today, it has a pretty radical, totally unexpected answer to that question. It just blows past all the usual suspects, all the monuments and wonders of the world, and lands on a location you would absolutely never guess. It makes the case that the greatest place on Earth isn't some magnificent palace or a towering pyramid. Nope, it's a desolate, barren hill, a place for public executions, a place of humiliation, suffering, and death. This place was called Golgotha, sometimes known as Calvary. And the name itself, it literally means the place of the skull. Think about that. In the first century, this spot was basically a garbage dump outside the city, and it was the execution ground for Rome's most despised criminals. So you've got to be asking, why on earth would anyone call that place the most important? Well, the whole argument really hinges on 5 key events that are said to have happened right there on that hill. Events that, if true, completely changed the course of humanity forever. Okay, let's dive into the first one. It starts with a public declaration, literally a sign, nailed to a cross. And this sign, according to our source, became kind of like the world's very first piece of mass communication, spreading this specific message. So they nailed a sign above Jesus's cross. Officially, it was his criminal charge, the accusation against him. It read, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. But here's the kicker. It was written in 3 languages. You had Hebrew, the language of religion and the local people. You had Latin, the language of Roman law and government. And you had Greek, which was the language of culture and trade, kind of like English as today. Now, the religious leaders, they were furious. They demanded that the governor, Pontius Pilate, change the wording. But Pilate, who'd been waffling on everything up to this point, suddenly puts his foot down. He just says, what I have written, I have written. And just like that, without even meaning to, he basically broadcasts this royal proclamation to the entire known world. All right, that brings us to the second event. This one is described as the single greatest transaction in all of human history. And it all went down under this mysterious, kind of spooky, supernatural darkness. So get this, from high noon until 3 in the afternoon, the sky goes pitch black. I mean, completely dark. Now, the source we're looking at is very clear. This wasn't some normal solar eclipse. It interprets this darkness as a physical sign of divine judgment. The idea is that the moral weight of everything wrong humanity has ever done was being dealt with right then and there. And here's the core of it, the main point. During those 3 hours of darkness and silence, something profound is said to have happened on a spiritual level. A massive transfer where the collective sin of all humanity, everything, past, present, and future, was put onto Jesus. And right at the end of that darkness, Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This cry is seen as the exact moment he felt the full, crushing weight of all that sin, causing for the first and only time in all of eternity, a separation from God. But what came next wasn't a cry of defeat at all. In fact, the source text frames it as the greatest cry of victory ever shouted. It was a single word that essentially declared mission accomplished. Right before he died, with his last breath, Jesus says, "It is finished." Now, this is super interesting because in the original Greek language, the word is tetelestai. And that wasn't just a casual phrase, it was an accounting term. It's what you'd stamp on a bill when a debt was completely paid off. It literally means paid in full. So you see, this isn't presented as him giving up. It's a shout of triumph, a declaration that the massive debt owed for all that sin, it had just been paid, in full. The mission he came to do was, in that moment, complete. And the moment he said that, the moment he died, a whole series of incredible things started happening, starting right inside the most sacred building in all of Jerusalem. Okay, so inside the Jewish temple, there was this ultra-sacred room. It was called the Holy of Holies. This was believed to be the one spot on earth where God's presence literally dwelt. And it was sealed off from everyone and everything else by this huge, thick curtain or veil. Now, to really get the miracle here, you have to understand this barrier. This wasn't just some regular curtain. We're talking about something nearly 60 feet high, and according to tradition, it was about 4 inches thick. I mean, imagine a curtain as thick as the width of your own hand. It was designed to be an absolutely impassable barrier. No one could get through. And yet, at the exact moment Jesus died, this massive 4-inch thick curtain was ripped into. And not from the bottom up, like a person would try to tear it. It was torn from the top down. This is seen as a powerful, symbolic act from God himself, basically saying, the barrier between me and humanity is gone, for good. And that wasn't all. At the same time, a violent earthquake shook the whole area, powerful enough to split rocks. And all of this, the darkness, the earthquake, the torn veil, it had a huge effect on the soldiers who were there, leading this jaded, hardened Roman centurion to look at the man he just helped execute and come to a pretty mind-blowing conclusion. So when you put it all together, from this perspective, Golgotha's greatness has nothing to do with what humans built there. It's all about what was accomplished there. The whole argument is that this forgotten, desolate hill became the one place on earth where perfect justice and perfect love collided, creating a single moment that completely changed the trajectory of human history. It turns a place of ultimate suffering into the birthplace of ultimate hope.